Hi everyone, Sandra Duran Wilson here, and welcome back to Mixed Media Soul Sparks. Every week I try and bring you some new ideas, some kind of wacky ideas sometimes, like this week. And I went shopping for art supplies at everywhere but the art supply store, and I've come up with some really fun ways to implement some of these products into your artwork. Now, I did do a video before using this product called adhesive grout. And I believe I have a link to it on my shop page, but you're going to find it in the home improvement store or a tile place, because what this is it's made for putting tile, like if you're putting tile in your bathroom. And it works as both an adhesive and a grout, so it'll stick to whatever you put it on. Now, if you live in other countries, they might call it something else. I think I helped somebody look in England for it, and they found it under a different name. So that's what it is. It's like something that you'll find in the tile store for adhering. It's called a mastic for adhering the tile, and a grout. The other thing I'm going to be using is just some canvas, untreated, there's no gesso or anything on here. This is a fairly heavy weight. You can use a lighter weight fabric, any kind of fabric. And then I'm also going to be showing you some fun ideas using sandpaper. And this is sandpaper that I've already used. So let's jump in here. This is one that I have already finished and it's dry. And in the previous video, I showed you how to take it when it was still wet and kind of crackle it up so you can get cracks in it. But this one is still working. I did this one yesterday, so it's not too dry. But when I put the paint on it, you'll be able to see it. But I want to start from the beginning and show you how to get this on here. This one is just a really thin coat to press it into the fabric. So let's get started with this. It's got a kind of creamy texture to it. I'm also going to spray a little water onto the fabric just so it doesn't dry out too fast. I'm working on top of a silicone sheet, which is really helpful to clean everything off afterwards. And if you don't have that, you may want to put some plastic down or something that you can dispose of later, because this stuff really sticks to everything. So what I'm doing here with my knife is I'm really rubbing it in to the fabric, just so that it's going to have this connection. Because if I just kind of skim it over the surface, it may want to break away when I do the crackle thing, which I'm going to do all these things you're not supposed to do. So you have to kind of take a little extra step to ensure that things won't fall apart. So once I've got this first layer in, now I'm going to come back in with a thicker layer. I also saved my old key cards from hotels, and they're good for spreading this if you want a smoother surface, but I like it. Lots of hills and valleys, because that's where the paint really catches and changes. And I'm going to show you one other trick with really how to get a very different look when it's dry, and I'll be adding some gel to it. And you don't have to cover everything. You can leave open areas of the fabric, which I think I'll do on this one. Just kind of cleaning my knife off. And I usually keep an extra piece of fabric around just to clean all my materials off. that in the water because it will dry. Cover this up because it will dry out pretty quickly. Now I'm going to jump over to the one that's already dry. Set this aside. Now let's come back in here. Real quick, this is if you wanted to do a smooth surface and then use the other end of your brush to kind of make patterns. That's another possibility. Lots of things you can do with this, so you can make it smooth. It doesn't have to be real textured like this. But when I come to this point and it's nice and cracked, I'm going to use a very fluid paint. And you can use, if you have a heavy body or a fluid body, you can just kind of dilute it a bit. I'm just going to be using a high flow. This is a transparent red iron oxide color I really like. And when I put it on here, my brush was really wet with water. I want it to kind of sink down in. I don't want a thick paint that's going to sit up on top, especially in the first layers. So I just kind of build up these layers. Let's see, I've got a sap green over here. Let's try a little of that. And some white. But isn't this nice how you can get it, you know, depending on how much water is, oh, well, there we go. Lose my top. Depending on how much water you have in your brush, you can get a very different variety of saturation. All right, let me just clean this off. I'll pick up a little green. It's pretty intense green, huh? Let's get some white in there. The other thing, I can come back. You see how absorbent that is? Just going to come back in and take some off. So this is just a matter of building up whatever colors you want. Here's a permanent violet dark, which I like. There was no water on the brush, so it's sitting more on the surface. Let's go back over here. I'm really kind of scrubbing it down in here. Some yellow ochre. Now, this is a thicker paint. I just want to show you the different possibilities here of like, see how that kind of just sits up on top, whereas the fluid paints sink down in. And now I'm just going to kind of float this over the hilltops. And that's how you can get all of these different layers, to accentuate these layers. So if I went in with that, was kind of thick, I can just grab some more water on my brush. You see, I can really move it around. And then I can just come back in and take some off. I call that the painter's dance. Put some on, take some off. And another thing you can do, just set this over here, is you can come in with a gel. This is a heavy gel. It's a gloss, but I would maybe use a matte because this is, okay, let me grab some matte. Okay, I had to go grab my matte, and you can see it's in this huge container, so I don't keep it too close by. So what I like to do with this is once I get a little bit of color on, I can start to smear some of this down into the recesses. And then when that dries, I can come back in with more color, and that's going to sit up on the surface and really start to add some more depth to it. It can also make it look kind of like wax that's in there. That was in one of my books, acrylic painting for encaustic effects. So that'll dry. I'll show you that in the finished piece. So here I can just come back in. This is another one that's dry. And the same thing, just building color. If I started with a dark color, if I started to kind of crack this up, well, let's just go in with the purple since I have it out. Then it's going to creep down into those cracks. This is also going to dry a lot lighter than what you see. So you might have to add a couple of layers to really get a deeper color. Let's put a little water on here. So some of my ideas for what I wanted to do with these things, I mean, you can just play around with how you add these to your work. I've taken and cut up pieces, added it to paintings. I've adhered it onto a panel and made that the entire painting. But here's another idea. Let me just get this color range fixed. There we go. So we'll set that aside. So what I have going on here is I have this other fabric, which I'm going to make kind of like a hanging piece, adhering these pieces when they're finished to this fabric. And there might be, you know, these three pieces, and then I was out in the yard doing some pruning and I saved some branches from my tree. So here I've got this, and I could take, when I get these all placed, I can take and, you know, put this as a hanging part. I'll just trim that off, stitch it or however I want. I could even, here's another idea. This is wire from one of my paint or my paper tablets, and I just kind of stretch this out. It could even get tied to the stick, and then you hang it from that. Another idea, I started on this one, is take it and put it into an embroidery hoop, and then put your adhesive grout there and paint that. This one has some of the fabric coming down, but I'll probably cut that off. And just another way an idea for how to use this. So the other part I wanted to add is, this is the sandpaper. This one is 36 grit. It's really, really strong. But I've used like coarse molding paste that you get from the art supply store. So this doesn't come from the art supply store. I painted it. I can come back in. That was the permanent violet dark. Here is some copper. This one, I kind of like this one. I've already used this 80 grit, and it's got some of the color from what I was sanding. Let me move this out of the way. These take a little while to dry. Let me just put these out here so you can see. This is another one that already had the paint on it from where I was sanding. So this is a combination of colors. I don't have any more. Here's a magenta. I'll use that. I don't have the permanent violet dark here, so I'll just improvise. So you're going to find that if you use a thick paint or a fluid paint. This was the fluid paint. I put it on, I blotted some off. Now I'm going to come in with a heavy paint on top. Let me get the water out of my brush. This is the yellow ochre, and I'll just drag it across the top. There we go. So I'm getting two colors. And I'm getting the accentuating that texture from the sandpaper. Now this one is not as strong. So if I come in here and I just start to paint on top of this, I get some, some nice textures, and here we go. Leave some of that black coming through. And then I can take and cut this up into shapes and add it to this other piece. So there's a lot of ideas here for you to play with. Try using this adhesive grout in loose canvas pieces and think of a new way to incorporate it into your painting. So I'll show you this banner, this hanging banner when I'm finished, and the embroidery hoop as well. And then adding the sandpaper, the painted sandpaper. Just lots of fun ideas of ways you can use materials that don't normally come from the art supply store. Have fun and post some of them on the Awakening Your Creative Soul Facebook page. Let's see what you're doing. And until next week, have fun creating. Thanks for joining me. Join the Creative Awakening community on Facebook, where you'll be able to post your art, connect with other creatives around the world, and ask questions. Use the hashtag #MixedMediaSoulSparks when posting your work on social media. Thanks for joining me,